Hello, hello, hello. It's Anna from Atlas, and today I'll finally be showing workflows to you. So we've had this feature for a while now, okay, since March, but right now it's finally time to show it to you. There will definitely still be updates on just all the capabilities you can do with workflows, how to automate things in Atlas. But right now we have our analysis tools in the automations. So right now you can just automate analysis processes and create even pretty complicated workflows. But I'll show you a pretty simple one today. And this is how it's going to look like in the end. So this is our inspiration template. I'll share this as a template for you. We will be looking into Airbnb listings in London, and I'll show you the map for you. We will get from all the Airbnb listings to this. And why we'll get into this is because there's way too much of this. It's way too many separate points to draw any conclusions from it, get any insights, honestly. And we want to simplify, we want to understand where there is the biggest volume in Airbnb bookings. And we can also look at the price, so average price of Airbnbs in London. And it is so much easier with this H3, so hexagon operation. So dividing the listings into these small areas and then styling based on that and drawing the conclusions. But all right, so let's get started. So on the left side panel, you have your different sides of Atlas, and we will jump into workflows. And let's start by creating a new workflow. Nice. And if you want, you can bring this type of canvas like that was in the example. Whoa, that was big. And then you can just name these ones, import data. Then we can create another one, boundary, and H3. And another one, calculate statistics. Lastly, save. All right, so something like this, right? And what we will start with is the dataset. In the template I'll share with you, it's already as an API import. So one of these options for importing right here in the blocks. So it will come directly fetch from Kaggle. But right now I also have this Airbnb listings dataset here. So I can just drag and drop that one right here. So we can use that one for the analysis. And then let's create the boundary. So we need to have a boundary around all the points to be able to create the H3. So let's just go here to the right side and search for the different operations, and we bring in the boundary. And here you have different types of boundaries. Let's use convex hull, which just takes the smallest area it can around the different points. And then we connect the dots, literally. And next thing we want to do is the H3 itself. Right there. Let's connect the dots again, and let's increase the resolution a bit so we make the area of the hexagon a bit bigger. Right now it's around 500 meters. And next thing we want to do is to calculate the statistics for this map. So we had both price and reviews per month in the dataset. I actually didn't show the dataset itself yet. I can just go to the data side and show quickly the data table. So what does that look like? So here, yeah, this is the amazing data we found from Kaggle. So it has all different types of parameters. It has the price, it has the number of reviews, and reviews per month. So that's something we want to use because that helps us understand how many bookings there is in a month. And then let's bring in spatial aggregation to calculate the statistics. So let's bring that in. And right now we are going to connect both the H3 here and the Airbnb listings. And that doesn't look very aesthetic, so I think we just need to drag these a bit lower so that it looks better. It doesn't go across it. I mean, this doesn't matter for the workflow itself at all, obviously. It's just visual stuff. And then we choose the columns. So we're gonna choose the columns I just showed you. So price and reviews per month. So we'll look into these two columns in this example. And then we only choose mean and sum because we don't need the other calculations right now. And then lastly, the area and the number of Airbnbs is so massive in London. So we want to limit it a bit. So we can use this filter by attribute. So we can choose a certain attribute that we filter based on. We again connect the dots, and let's choose the reviews per month sum. So right now we already choose the one that we are creating here, and let's take greater than 50 reviews per month because there's just simply too many otherwise. And then lastly but not least, that's not the saying, but you know what I mean, we need to save it to dataset so that we can work on it on the data side as well. And I mean, you can always add more of these steps later on. If you realize you have missed something crucial, you can always go and edit later on. But right now our workflow looks like this, and now it's the most fun part. So we are going to run it. You can see it working. It's working. And when one spot is done, it moves on to the next one. Ooh. Nice. It's a big dataset, that's why it took so long in the beginning. Right now you can also click this one and look at the map view right here, and we have the hexagons. But let's jump to the data side to finish this up. And right now we have the output, and right now it's just purple hexagons, which doesn't tell us a lot, so we need to style it. So let's go to style by field here right side on the layers panel. You can also open it by clicking styling, or simply clicking the layer. But here you have a style by field, and let's go and choose that field. And I think we are going to go with reviews per month mean. So this one shows us the average of reviews. So in this case, we use it as bookings per month. So we know which areas are the most popular when it comes to Airbnbs. And then we can increase the fill because we can barely see the colors, and we can just change the color of the outline so it's not taking all the attention. But right now we have some insights. We see the darker spots have way more than some of the lighter spots. You also have this pop-up coming here to show you can edit all these things, style all them, and even create an interface to understand the insights even better. I already created one earlier with the statistics of volume and price. You can also decide to style this by price because that was the other attribute we used. So price mean. So then you get the most expensive areas, and that's how it looks like. So this is how you use workflows in Atlas. There are so many use cases that you can use it for and create the most complicated workflows you can ever imagine. I would love to see those. So please comment what are you planning to create with Atlas workflows, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.